Rise and shine, Wild Pack. It's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Pick a Card Tarot reading for Friday. Thank every deity ever known to mankind and then some. It's Friday. Y'all, has this week been long for anybody else? Because you could pack for Europe in the bags under my eyes. It's been good. It's been crazy good, but great googly moogly. So, I'm just gonna get right into the reading, y'all. You know what? Whatever. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the ringy dingy bell. Get your notifications. Blah 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 blah. Marketing. Because today's message, whatever with the marketing, it's all about today's message. So, first thing I want to say is shout out to Panda. If y'all know Panda, he pops in and out every now and again, and he has shared his journey and his struggles with us, and we're all rooting for him. And I talk to Panda occasionally, and I don't even know how to explain this reading, but I'm gonna try. So yesterday, Panda texted me, and he's like, "Oh my God, I just saved a guy's life." And of course, I get like a jillion texts and a jillion emails a day, and I love it. I love every one of them, and I wish I could get to every person individually every day and every way. I just can't, y'all. I literally get hundreds of emails and texts and all that kind of thing a week. So, which I appreciate, but I give a sister a break. So something like that will catch your eye. And I'm sitting in the salon, I got all my hairs cut. I didn't just get one haircut. And I saw that text, and I about jerked the scissors out of my gal's hands, and she's like, "Is everything all right?" And I was like, "No." So I'm reading this text. Anyway, Panda had a psychic moment, and he just was passing by somebody, and the vibration, the energy didn't feel right, and he walked over to see if the fellow was okay. The guy was gray with blue lips, and Panda got him back to life. So I thought, first of all, Panda, dude, that is some serious karma. You live in New York. Do you know how many people would have walked off by that old boy and just not have thought a thing about it? And you went and did your thing. And so, you know what? Spirit animal mojo to you. And I thank you for being a good human being. And I'm sure everybody thanks you for it. So that just kind of blew my mind and everything. And, we talked about it for just a little bit, but, I thought, that is just the culmination of this week, because almost every client that I talked to this week, every client that had a reading this week, and by the way, if you supported the Arc Animal Tarot, or if you supported the book and you got a reading, I'm sending out an update early this morning. Y'all will get that calendar on Monday. I'm so sorry it's taken so long, but y'all trying to book 100 and something readings in the middle of all my business, and I want to get to you guys ASAP, right? So I just had to do some schedule juggling, but I'm there. So I just thought, man, that's the physical manifestation of everything that's happened this week to every client I know, because every single client that's had a reading has been in some savior position in some way, in their family, in their friends, in their business, in their own life. It's been all about saving lives. Now, today is Friday. It's ruled by the heart chakra. Venus is the, sorry, y'all. Venus is the ruling planet. Oh, wait. It's not even the heart chakra day. What am I thinking about? It's the throat chakra day. What am I thinking? I was so caught up in the love thing, I'm not even thinking right. But Venus is, why did I get heart? Now I get it, why it was sent. It's got to come from here up through here. I really do think you're being called to say something. It's got to come from the heart, but it is throat chakra day, and you'll find the strength and you'll find the courage to say what you need to say and do what you need to do. So there we go. I don't know what to do except for to double dutch down on the work that I do with the animals to make more people, you can't make anybody do anything, but just to get more people to love their fellow human beings more, where they'll do things like what Panda did, which is walk into a potentially emergent situation. He didn't know what was going on, save this guy's life, the stories that I've heard this week from people who were in emergent situations, either having to save themselves or having to know what will come of it if I do this, if I say this, if I do this, if I don't do this. And of course they do it out of love. There's no other reason that people do things like that. It's not easy to show up and be a hero. It's just not for some people. And for some people, it's just what you do if you see people in need, especially people that you love if they're in danger. However, we live in a world today, and I don't ever make social commentary, but I'm going to make it now. We live in a world today where people just, not everybody, that's painting with too wide of a brush, but I just find people are too willing to look the other way when things are happening right in front of them that are wrong, that are harmful, that are emergencies. They just walk the other way. I don't know how people could do that. But anyway, here's what this has to do with your reading this morning. I'll be gosh and be darned, and I mean it, gosh and be darned. You know what, I mean it again. I'll be gosh and be darned if the King of Swords didn't fly in for y'all this morning. Now, the King of Swords, the Condor, which is in, I read with my deck. By the way, if you're new, welcome. I'm not always riled up. I'm usually pretty fun. But this is a big deal. I don't know what the energies are going on this week. I just do not know. But it is, I'm going to say it again. It's about saving things, saving lives, saving reputations, saving yourself, saving whatever you're trying, saving money. It can even be about saving money. It can be about saving anything. That is the theme of this week. Who knew? I lived through this whole week and didn't know until it hit me last night. Right? Okay. So this was just the icing. This was the buttercream icing on the Publix cake of my dang day. And it should be on y'all's too, because if you've never had Publix cake with their buttercream icing, you are living a half-life. You're like in Harry Potter, where you drink the blood of a unicorn and you only ever live a half-life. So, so if you take a look at this Condor now, I have been in love with Condors since I was a kid, just fascinated by them. And so it would have made sense to find a flying Condor. Who doesn't want to see a bird, especially a king, right? A king in the tarot, this strong and this flying and this, everything that a Condor is with their 9-foot wingspan. 9 feet, y'all. 9 feet. They're like pterodactyls. I love them. Second only to a harpy eagle. So this Condor, look at the look on that old boy's face. He's got his cape, his feathers all puffed up. He's marching in that field. And here's what I heard from this. If you want something done right, you got to do it your dang self. Now, he said it in a Peruvian accent, but that's what I heard. So, or California, because there are condors in California. So, it'd be like, what would that be like? It'd be like, dude, sometimes if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself, right? Oh my God, Becky, look at that condor's butt. I got a condor's butt and I can't. Okay, I'm tired, y'all. And this week really has just wallowed. Well, really, it wasn't the whole week that wallowed me. Really, it was just a realization last night that this has been like the savior week. It's crazy. And then this card coming out this morning, there's something, I don't know what is stirring the Kool-Aid out there with y'all with the wild pack, but I bet just about all of y'all have some kind of, I got to save this, I got to do this. I bet you do. And you had to come to a decision. Some of y'all just walked in and did it. And some of y'all are like, I don't know. Should I say this to this person? Should I not say this? Will it hurt their feelings? Will it this? Will it that? Well, let me tell you something about Mr. King of Swords. He's tough. He's double Dutch tough. Because here's why. He will fell that sword swift and true. And he may ruffle some feathers along the way, and he may hurt some feelings along the way. But by God, if you're in a burning building, do you want somebody to baby coddle you, or you want somebody to jerk you out by the back of your neck and save your life? What is it you want? And so I know that y'all are being called to be that King of Swords. That whatever this is you're pussyfooting around, stop pussyfooting around it. There's no time for that. There's no call for that, and it will never work. Now, the King of Swords can be a ruthless old boy. but he's never not fair. And, we could go down the whole metaphysical, philosophical rabbit hole of, well, what's fair to one person is not fair to another person, yak, yak, yak. Okay, I totally get that. But let's say, true story. I happen to be, I'll just leave it at true story. Well, I actually know a lot of stories like this, and they're all true stories. You get to know a lot of people when you read, y'all. So what if you were the friend of someone who was being abused in their relationship, and you knew about it, and they didn't want you to tell anybody, but they wouldn't do anything about it. And you're stuck then in a position where, well, if you betray their trust, they'll never trust you again. And is that ever going to be worse? Because if they won't ever trust you again, what if things do get worse and they don't tell you because you betrayed their trust? But what if the next time it happens, they get killed dead? Not just dead, D-E-A-D, but dead, D-E-D, because that's what you get here in the South. When you're truly dead, you are D-E-D, dead. Not like even in Princess Bride. Well, he's mostly dead. Okay, it's not like that. What do you do? That's a tough decision to make. Believe me, I know that that's a tough decision to make. But if you align yourself with the Condor and the King of Swords, what decision would that be? I happen to know I'm very dear friends with someone who has a sugar problem. That'd be me. No, I'm teasing. I do have a sugar problem. But I mean serious business diabetes. And I actually happen to know somebody in my younger years. I represented this person's son in Hollywood. And this person was hanging on by a thread every day. Only in their 30s. Just hanging on by a thread. And would not stop drinking plain old Mountain Dew. Would not stop having ho-hos for breakfast. Would not stop having slushies. Right? I mean, the sugar intake this person took in, it would have put me in a diabetic coma. And y'all, I'm like a fly. I can eat some sugar. I can. And she just kept on and 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 died at 39 years old because she would not save herself. So this might sound like a heavy reading today, but it's not meant to be. It's meant to open your eyes to the scope and the breadth and the depth to which we can love one another and be responsible for one another and save one another if everybody would just do it. Now, what would you do? What would you do in the case of a something where you knew somebody was being abused? I happen to, my mom used to do this when she'd get all rattled. I happen to be in a situation. I'm not in the situation, but I know of a situation because I'll just say it happens right next to me where there are children in harm's way. Let me just say, they're out of harm's way when I know about it. When I don't know about it, because I can't see what goes on inside the walls. Well, I kind of can see what goes on inside the walls, and so can you. But I'm in that situation where what do you do? Because if they get toted off to, Child Protective Services, the situation there can be much more damaging, maybe, than the situation that they're currently in. But while I'm aware of it, I feel it is incumbent upon me to call and say something or do something about it. Consequently, living with me is fun. So this is why I'm sharing these deeply personal stories, and why I'm sharing this deep, serious stuff is because really the end result that makes it all better emanates from a place of love. And that's it. I don't know those kids. I know of them. They're near to me. I'll just say that. But I love them. They're children. I even love the crazy whatever that, the crazy whatevers, plural, that are just, man, they're doing a number to wreck these kids for the rest of their life. It's like they do it deliberately. It's crazy. But I do love them because I know, I know that's the only path. It's the only path to the truest of healing, the truest of acceptance, the truest of unconditional love. So just like, oh my God, there it is. Just like the King of Swords, remember, there are not just two sides to a sword, there are three sides. There's one side, there's the other side, but then there's that tiny rim that goes around the middle of a sword. Same thing with a coin. So somewhere in the middle of right and wrong, or this person's version, or this person's version, or this person's perception, and this person's perception, is some kind of equilibrium, is some kind of equal balance, right? I mean, equal is balance, right? There's something like that. Only you can determine what that is for you. But as long as it comes from a place of true love, you cannot go wrong. I don't care if the other person kicks and screams and snorts and stomps and has a tizzy or a, my mom used to say that person, they get more upset, they're going to have an apoplectic seizure. And, if you happen to know what that is. And so here's the story. I'm just so honored to know you all. I'm so honored to read for you every day. I'm honored to do whatever I can to help bring you closer to your animal allies, because it's the most natural part of you. And that's the whole point of working with spirit, totem, and power animals. It's the whole point of it. It's the whole point of shamanism, is to, it's even the whole point of paganism or Wicca or any earth-based spirituality, because it's a natural thing. We are hardwired to love each other. We are hardwired to be our brother's keeper. We are hardwired because, you see, we started out as clans. And that is a deep, 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 deep cellular memory that's imprinted in our DNA. Why would that? I can't predict a time that would ever not, if that could ever be bred out of our DNA. I just can't predict that. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So I hope you find the courage to love somebody enough, love yourself enough, love an animal enough, love your environment enough, love anything enough to allow yourself that much love that will then support your courage to save it. And that if you feel like you need extra support, look at that face. You call that face into you. You call that determination. You call that stalwartness. You call that strength into you. And Condor will be there. Male or female, Condor will be there. Yes, it's the King of Swords. I totally get it. That's supposed to be a male energy, but Condor, it doesn't have to be a male. Condor just is the King of Swords in my deck, but as a spirit, totem, and power animal, it can be whatever gender. It doesn't even have to be male or female. It could be non-binary. You get it, okay? If you are ready to work with the King of Swords, and you're ready to work with that kind of power, that kind of archetype, I'd put these puppies together. I'd sleep with those. Actually, I would turn them up like this, and I would sleep with them under my pillow like that, and don't think I haven't. Because they will come to your aid. And they'll come to your aid because you're being a humanitarian. You're trying to come to the aid of somebody else. So, I love you all so much. I'm so honored to know you. I know you'll go out there and do good things. I know you do every day. I know you do. I can feel it. So, I hope that was helpful. Pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get on over to my forums, wildpackwisdom.com/forums, where there is all kinds of metaphysical madness and shenanigans going on. And as always, the most important things that I know you do today and every day is do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild.